Dustin Grimmiessen. I am the VP of Solution Engineering for Networking and Security for AHEAD, and I'm here with Blake and Sanjay from our key partner, Cisco, and I'll let these guys introduce themselves.
Sure. Blake Babila, Director of U.S. Commercial Security Sales. Thanks so much for having us today.
Yes, Sanjay Aggarwal, VP of Product Management Security Business Group, and great to be here, and thank you.
So Cisco's long been one of AHEAD's most strategic partners in all facets of Cisco's business, but these two gentlemen representing the security business for Cisco. And so I kind of wanted to ask a few questions related to the security business and the partnership with AHEAD and where we're going to grow in that partnership together. And I'll start with Sanjay. Cisco, I've been noticing from the partner side, significant investments in the security portfolio, the products over the last several years. Kind of a ramping up and a redefining of a lot of aspects of the portfolio. And I just kind of want to get your thoughts on, those investments, the impact you're seeing, what places in the market that you're tackling, and how Cisco is putting the investments to work.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. I think about our strategy over the last few years has been a bit of an evolution. But let's say in the last 2 or 3 years, we've really had 3 pillars that we've been focusing on. And then the first thing has all been, to your point, really around stressing product innovation and finding new innovations that really meet unmet needs in the market, or find new or different ways to solve really addressed needs that customers really care about. Kind of pillar 2 is then how we take those innovations, how we take our different products and really make it simpler to consume through a platform and integrated based approach. And third is, that's not just within security, but really think about how we bring that integrative approach throughout all of Cisco. So how do we tie, for example, security into the fabric of the network? So we can kind of go through each of those in a bit. And I think they actually align to, I know a lot what AHEAD is also thinking through from their go-to-market and your how you address your customer needs. So for the first area, there's, I think a lot of examples of where we've really been doubling down on. I'll just give a couple. I think the first thing we've really looked at is how do we really think about SSC technologies in a very different way? All right, so we came out with Secure Access, the new version of our SSC about 1.5 years ago, and really trying to address a couple of things. Right, first around how do we provide an integrated approach across both public and private access? And that was based on a lot of customer conversations and really understanding their pain points with the current offers in the market. Right. Secondly, and really critical, we know that different customers are on different parts of their application journey. So some folks have a lot of legacy applications still behind VPNs. Some folks have a lot of cloud-based applications. We need to meet customers where they are. So we really built our private access solution within Secure Access to really help customers that are trying to migrate their apps, have a lot of legacy apps, have a lot of feature apps, and really provide one approach across their entire application stack. Other thing we're really excited about, for example, is that's something around the network side. In addition, is putting a lot more emphasis into our firewall portfolio. I think you've seen some of the new ratings, but just across the different platforms, just a lot of focus on quality, a lot of focus on bringing out new features that are differentiated, but also really building upon the strengths of Cisco. And I think some of the newer areas we're thinking about, I think a great example is just last month we had an AI summit. And one of the other really big pain points is as kind of AI applications are becoming more pervasive in organizations, so is shadow AI applications. So we came out with something called AI Defense, which is all around how do we secure the connections, the usage, and the actual runtime of these AI applications, right? So it's a suite of different AI, call it access technologies or AI access security technologies. I'm really excited, but really think about making sure AI is secure for every user within an enterprise. So that's kind of a flavor. Obviously, we can go into more details, but really focusing on some of these larger areas and new innovative areas and kind of these newer areas around AI that we know are critical as organizations think about their next set of security challenges.
So a couple things that you said actually before you got into the portfolio aspects that really resonate with me is that Cisco is paying attention to the rest of the portfolio, not just security, and linking into the networking solutions, into data center, into AI, and the other aspects. And I would say that's something that AHEAD is really trying to do. I say a lot of times to our clients or to our sellers that the security portfolio of AHEAD is really just security in the other pillars of AHEAD's business. So securing the things that we do really well.
Yeah.
And so I'll kind of turn over to you, Blake, and kind of get your feedback as far as like, does AHEAD's approach in this way of kind of stitching security into the rest of our portfolio, does that resonate with the way that Cisco is going to market?
Yeah, it absolutely does. One of the things I've been incredibly excited about in this partnership is how fully aligned we are in how we go to market. We have an attack-based security selling organization that is designed to penetrate the market. The investment that AHEAD has made in bringing in top-level talent in this industry to have a security-focused sales team perfectly aligns with our business strategy as well. So I think it's an incredible opportunity for us to enhance the partnership and continue to sell more together and really help our customers solve their security challenges as they go through this AI journey.
Awesome. Would either, this is really for either of you, would you say there's anything that we got to look out for as far as, in our strategy, we're looking at very wide issues and complex environments, but what are the things, maybe Sanjay, that stand out to you? Like immediately, most of these large enterprises are going to need help, and they're going to need more than just point security solutions.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's exactly right. Most companies have, tens about hundreds of different security tools they're trying to architect together. So I think the biggest pain point we hear is that the complexity of managing that solution set is very complicated. So how do we provide an integrated approach to security collective together is going to really help solve what our customers care about. And then secondly, it's not just within security, but we know that security and networking are fusing more closely together. Security and data center are fusing more closely together. So I think as folks are deploying kind of new architectures, they must be secure from the onset. So I think those are some of the things we're hearing from our customers, this integrated platform approach, again, tying it to the rest of what they have within their environment. And I think how we address those challenges can, really help us solve some of our customers' key challenges.
Yeah, I would just add, Sanjay is making it very easy for us to help solve those customer challenges with some of the great products that we're seeing come to market, being viewed as now an innovator in the space. And that's something that we take a lot of pride in, being able to address current security initiatives now and simplifying that for our customers. I think of products that have recently been released like Cloud Manager. Now we can stitch all of that together, single pane of glass approach is really helping customers get to that single vendor mindset. And that's where we're seeing some of the larger opportunities together that we're working with our sales teams and also driving really great customer outcomes.
And I think one last thing there is, as we know folks are really trying to go towards integrated approach, the one thing we also hear that's really critical is for us to be, to have the most, effective solutions, it also must be integratable with other technologies that already exist in their environment. So as we started kind of really bringing some of our new products to the market and the new platform to the market, one of the guiding principles we had is not only does it have to work better within Cisco, but it should also work better with whatever you have existing in your environment, right? And so we natively integrate third-party telemetry into a lot of our solutions. We're thinking about actually building a firewall, the manager referring to, and actually help also manage potentially third-party firewalls. And so things like that, just make it easier for customers across their entire estate is another core pillar that we think is really critical.
Yeah, and I was actually you gave me a great segue because I was gonna ask about maybe lessons learned from Cisco, especially on the product side in the security space. And I would definitely say one that stands out to me just as a partner or an outside observer is, the platform approach is allowing customers to centralize more security with a single partner. But we have to acknowledge that there are other platforms out there, right, that do things that we don't do necessarily. And so being able to tie into those platforms or round out the pieces of the portfolio that Cisco doesn't do, to me, is a great pivot that I've noticed over the last few years. But maybe Sanjay, any other, what I would call lessons learned as far as tweaks and tunes that you've made based on the way you're reacting to the market?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was some of, I think around the integrated approach, being open with kind of other third parties. At the end of the day, we're all working together to stop those hackers, right? So I think there's a common mission that we have to really focus on. I think one last thing is really critical, and this is a little bit away from product, but maybe I think really important is you can deploy all technology we want, but what really matters is how customers use and find value of those products, of the platforms. Right, so I think working with, with like AHEAD to really ensure that partners adopt the products, use the features of the products, understand how they work better together, and ensure they get the right value so they're able to protect their environment in the most effective way is really critical. So I think that's the thing we've learned over time, is that until you adopt and use a product, it's not fully being functional in that environment. So how do we really help customers do that is really, really important.
You had mentioned, Sanjay, one of the first things is trying to make it easier to do business with Cisco Security. And I think part of that, what you just described, is in that vein, right? Like if your partners are enabled and they understand how the pieces and parts fit together, that's ultimately going to translate down to the customers. And Blake, I was going to ask you about the partnership specifically. Like, what are the things that, especially you're going to be partnering with a lot of our sellers out in the field, going into some of our bigger, more strategic accounts, and a lot of complex scenarios, but like ease of doing business from a Cisco to a customer perspective. But what about via a partner like AHEAD? Like, what are the things that we bring that make that process easier to consume for your customers and sort of excites you about the partnership?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of excitement and a lot of emphasis around how we do more together, because we've seen so much success with our customers and the outcomes that we've been able to drive. When we think about the simplicity, I think about our go-to-market approach as 100% channel focused, meaning that when we sell to a customer, we are only going to be selling through a partner. We want that certainly to be with AHEAD as much as possible. What we can do from a marketplace standpoint as well together, right? We always have a partner involved in our deals. I think that certainly takes some of the risk away when we're selling together, knowing that, hey, we are going to be aligned on this deal. And we look at our approach from a suite standpoint. We talk about how we're trying to simplify that approach. Instead of having to potentially look at registration for multiple products, hey, let's look at our user protection suite. Let's look at the products that a customer might already have and how we can bundle that together to help the customer get more out of that solution. When I look at things like identity and how we embed that in our platform, I think that gives us a unique advantage for sure, something our competition doesn't always address, which is critical. The emphasis around AI and how that's embedded in products like Secure Access now, I think is certainly helping solve for customers. But really, it is our emphasis to be easy to work with. And when I think of the alignment and how we have a dedicated security sales team aligned to yours, collaboration is very strong and only going to get better.
Awesome. Well, I think we can probably wrap there. I think the main themes for me is that, Cisco is making it easier to do business in security across the multiple pillars of a pretty complex landscape, right, with the platform. That really aligns pretty well to AHEAD's strategy, which is we want to be end-to-end consultative to our customers. If we're talking security, we're probably also talking AI or data center or cloud or somewhere that security is an integral component. So I think there's great alignment there, and I really look forward to continuing the partnership and growing it together, AHEAD and Cisco, but also specifically in security as we go forward. Any last comments from you guys before we wrap?
I would just say we're super excited about what we can do together going forward, and just thank you for the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the time has never been better for what we can do together. The go-to-market strategies are 100% aligned. We're excited to see what those outcomes will be.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.